I noticed that a lot of large accounts, and some of them Pan-African accounts, and others were talking about something else. So some of these Black American accounts that were maybe talking about beauty or talking about something other than what we're talking about have suddenly noticed after Essence Fest and the fallout and the upcoming African braid shop boycott or African business boycott, they've started to see how Africans feel. And a lot of their latest YouTube videos have pivoted over to some new commentary that is very shocking. Plus, you have a lot of lone wolves, I call them, people that are not connected to the greater group, that are making their own TikTok videos out of the blue. They're just like random. And that's what I've been waiting for this whole time, for this to really spread, so that you have random people and then they'll start hooking up and they'll start talking with each other. And then we have some very big accounts, people with millions of followers, and they have pivoted over to discussing this matter. And I just think it's very interesting, and we're going to get some movement from this.
Yes. Like Wani said, like Wani implied, or basically like Brother Tariq Nasheed said, foundational Black Americans are we're learning how to exercise soft power. And by God, are we powerful. I'm so proud of us. We're learning that we are the foundation. You know, it may be deeper than that. Somebody was explaining to me, a physicist back when I used to teach physics. He was Dr. Ward. I masquerade as a physicist. I masquerade, but this guy actually had a PhD in physics, and he was from one of them countries, Russia or something like that. I think he was Russian. He knew what the hell he was talking about. And we were talking about the universe and the origin of creation. And I'm going to try to paraphrase him best I can, but my elevator don't go up that high. He was saying the creator, God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the source, the all, whatever you want to call him, made the first move. So think of a Newton's cradle. That's the little thing with balls that have a string, and you pull back one ball and let it go, and bam, it hits the other balls, and the other balls start moving in action. He was like, the creator made the first move. He's a source. And if that's true, which I think it is, we're directly related to the creator. So when we move, just like the creator, everybody else moves. And that's the power that we are becoming aware of. I don't know if it's by accident that we just are just, I tried I tried nonviolence, I tried prayer, I tried this, I tried that. So shit, let's just try this. But this is working. By us delineating and doing what we do, everybody else is doing what we do. Isn't that amazing? But it was a good tactic, and I'm glad that how that relates to what we're saying is by us making our move and delineating and stop funding these African organizations, the pan-Africanists are trying another tactic. And you know what that makes me think? They're pivoting. That's so tactical that really makes me think that Pan-Africans are associated with some type of federal agency, some type of think tank. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Pan-African organization was more organic and more like grassroots, they would have a different approach. It wouldn't be so sophisticated and tactical. They wouldn't pivot. They would just kind of double down. That's kind of human nature, is when people go against you and you believe in an ideology, human nature dictates that you double down on the ideology and escalate. But this like sharp pivot, I don't know. That seems tactical to me. What are your thoughts, Kush?
So, Professor, I'm right there with you. This to me seems strategic, as if people are preemptively trying to get ahead of the delineate their, I want to say cash cow in some way, because some people have really been using this as a way to make money off of people or to get notoriety, popularity, whatever. And I think that people are seeing it drying up, and they're trying to get ahead of it, get in front of the dry up, and say, see, look, I've been talking about FBA issues. I've been using the term FBA. Again, what I'm noticing is that some of these people that are heavy into Pan-Africanism, they're not even using the term ADOS, which goes to your point that not only are we leading a charge, leaving that term ADOS behind, which I never used. I was unfamiliar with it, to be honest. But these people, they don't even use ADOS. They just go straight to FBA, and whatever momentum is behind FBA, that's what they're with. And like I said, I think that preemptively, they're just creating a whole lot of content so that when the time comes that Pan-Africanism is really on the slab, so to speak, they can say, well, look at all the content that I did 8 months ago where I used the term FBA. See, I was talking about issues, and I want to be clear about some of the big platforms that I have seen. It's not that some of these people that are into Pan-Africanism are not talking about FBA issues, but it's not the primary focus. So yeah, they might talk about how the Democrats practice benign neglect. Yeah, they might talk about anti-Black racism, but that's not really the focus of their content. The focus of their content is something about what's going on in Africa. Hey, would you like to take the trip with me and my family? Like, it's stuff like that. So, yeah, those are just my observations.
Yeah.
Did you hear this woman? I think she's like Dr. Umar's girlfriend or side woman, and she mentioned that he had an FBI file.
No, I've never heard this. I don't doubt it, but
No, I just saw it yesterday.
Is it an FBI file as in he's an agent file, or an FBI file because he's being investigated file?
She did not elaborate, and I couldn't even find out who she was.
Weird.
But she's mad at him, and, you know, he accused her of doing something, and she's got to stick up her butt. But I'm only interested in that FBI file because so far, every time someone is busted being a Pan-African, we find out that they have these weird backgrounds.
Yeah, Umar was all kind of weird to me from the beginning. It just... And honestly, I kind of vibe with them a little bit, like 8 years ago, because I was a classroom teacher, and he's talking about building a school, and I was a kind of new teacher, and I was like, man, the school systems are so screwed up. By that time, I had taught in Alabama, Tennessee, and New York, and I saw a pattern. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't just... I thought it was Alabama was backwards. I was like, man, I got to get out my home state. It's backward. And I went to Tennessee. It was a little better, but still backwards. Went to New York. New York was worse than Alabama. And I was like, wait a minute, this is the school system. And he's like, I'm going to build a school. I was like, that's a great idea. You know what I'm saying? And in about 4 years, when the school didn't materialize, I was like, what is this dude doing? It doesn't take that long to build a school. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. And you don't have to take up donations like that. My boss at Lemoyne College, my head administrator, not the provost, my head administrator was a single mother from Philly in Memphis, didn't know anybody, with 2 kids, 1 little girl and a teenage son, on her own. And she met with politicians in Memphis. She from Philly, no connection. Met with them and kept hounding them down until they authorized grants and stuff. She built a whole school for performing arts, ladies and gentlemen, of all things. Those are hard to do. You know what I'm saying? People don't like to get behind, art in the South, generally, especially in Memphis. If it was music, that'd be different. But she was talking about dance and drama. Like, that's not really a Memphis thing. But she got it authorized, got a building, got grants in line, had a NOFO, and all by herself. And that started making me look at Umar. I was like, wait a minute, this young lady, this lady did it by herself with 2 kids and no husband, no man in her, doing it by her damn self, and she was in school to get her PhD. So I started like looking at Umar kind of funny. And then I'm like, what are you really up to? You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Hey, good evening. How you doing today, Professor Wani? Miss Cush? Just got done from a productive meeting earlier, Zoom call with some of our future professionals at one of the Solon student unions at Harvard. So it's a pretty good conversation. So to talk about the topic of discussion, why are Pan-Africans pivoting? FBA is not impressed by cargo coats, FBA DNA. So what I've been noticing over the past 7 years, or several years, should I say, we have witnessed a marked shift in tone, direction, and reception of the Peter Pan-Africanism in relation to the foundational Black American Solon community. Once embraced by many as a underlining ideology per se, Pan-Africanism is now being critically examined, not from a place of hate, but from a growing consciousness of historical betrayal, cultural commodification, dehumanization, as I say, and selective solidarity. The question would be, why are Pan-Africans pivoting? It reflects really a broader awakening. The pivoting isn't just coming from Pan-Africanists trying to salvage a failing ideological export. It's also a reflection of us no longer willing to be the moral backbone and the financial base of a vision that really rarely reciprocates their loyalty or lived experience. Many of us in the lineage have grown increasingly wary of what they see as their cult behavior, an ideology that celebrates their foreign symbolism, foreign ancestry, and imported mythologies. Like what Professor Clarence Walker, he always says, I know Afrocentrism and Pan-Africanism could be a different ideology, but he also says Afrocentrism is Eurocentrism whiteface. So I always use the he also says therapeutic mythology, Pan-Africanism, so I always try to use that. But they offer very little or no material reciprocity, historical grounding, or repair to the descendants and the autochthonous descendants of the American child slavery. The romanticization of Africa as a homeland often becomes a one-way transaction, where we are expected to invest emotionally, politically, and financially in cultures and nations that in many instances historically reject them, disrespect their lineage, or outright collaborate with European colonial powers to facilitate the slave trade. As we've seen with Sierra, she got citizenship in Benin. That's how you say it? Benin. Mm-hmm. But they still have modern day slavery over there. Well, we do as well. I'm not gonna lie. America has not how they have it, but we have it under the 13th Amendment, where a lot of our brothers is locked up and they do slavery over there. But when we say we're not impressed by these cargo cults, they're not mocking culture. They're critiquing an uncritical adoption of foreign traditions at the expense of one's own. We're drawing a line against that being reduced to perpetual orphans in search of belonging when our blood, bones, and brilliance helped build the United States. So the critique of it isn't rooted in anti-African sentiment. It's grounded in a toxinous awareness. The FBA lineage has its own cultural, political, spiritual systems forged through the centuries of struggle, rebellion, creation, and survival on our American soil. So I'm gonna land right there, and I'll build upon it on a later date because I want to hear what y'all got to say. So
I'm glad that you brought up Sierra because in my college circle, Sierra's influence on a lot of sorority girls that I know who are professionals. Like they're texting me, asking me because everybody asks me everything. They're like, hey, how do I get Sierra has citizenship in Africa. How do I do that? And I say that's not what you want. But the reason why I brought that up is because I viewed Sierra as everything's tactical, it's warfare. And celebrities, one thing I hope we learned from a Kamala Harris administration is celebrities are often used as proxies to influence us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You remember Usher? Usher came out, I'm paraphrasing him, but he was like, they were like, what do you think about the Kamala Harris? Or don't you support her? And he said something like, oh, I stay out of politics or something like that. And something happened allegedly behind the scenes, and then he flipped the script. It was almost allegedly like he got scared. Somebody threatened him allegedly. Well, I view this Sierra thing as a proxy. The dominant society knows that we're turning and we're delineating on Africans from their own fault. If they would have played it cool, we may not have noticed. You know what I'm saying? Or we may have just had pity on them like we tend to do, which that needs to go away. We need to have pity on our damn selves. But I digress. But in conclusion, I think Sierra was a proxy. I think that they may have allegedly offered her some money or some, a deal or something and say, hey, come to Benin. And for Christ's sake, out of all the African countries to have citizen in, why would you want to have citizen in the most dangerous voodoo-infested, sacrificing twins? I don't ever want to go to Benin. Like I told y'all, when I was on going to the waterfall in Togo, our tour guides were like 3 15-year-old boys, and the whole 8 or 9 miles to the waterfall through the jungle, they were talking about how terrified they are of Benin. Like they kill people.
The reason that I don't think that's a good idea is because you have a U.S. passport, and like, where are you going to use your Benin passport? You're not going to live over there. You're going to drag your butt back over here where all the snacks are. We already discussed that. You're not going to eat their food forever.
Right.
Okay, so that's problem number one. Number two, if you have another passport, that could give you a red flag. They'll say, oh, are you a citizen of this area? Or they might even think you are really from there and that you just got a U.S. passport. You could cause yourself some red flags and other issues. Plus, that is a very low-ranking passport. Now, if you wanted to get a Swiss passport, then my eyebrows would raise, because now you've got a powerful passport that can get into any country, and you have double mobility. But it's still just a passport, and if you have an American passport, there's no difference. You can't use them all at the same time. And I just don't see a benefit of having a low-ranking passport that's associated with crime, that's associated with being banned and blocked, or just generally unwanted people. Why would you link yourself to people that they don't want in their countries? When would you use this passport? The minute you flip it open and try to use it, you're going to get slam dunked.
So, Kwani, I just wanted to say this. So, again, I don't know if some FBAs or people that have some FBA lineage or whatever are using this, because most of the African countries are saying if you're an African citizen, people can travel without a visa, they can travel across the continent if they have the passport or whatever. I don't know if people find that to be appealing or not. That's not a draw for me. To just be able to travel to different African countries and, take a gamble that I might get kidnapped here or get kidnapped. I'm cool off that. But I did want to say two other points. First of all, Sierra is not the first person, and I said this before, Sierra is not an influential celebrity, not even in my age group, because Sierra's more like in my age group. I kind of grew up with her music and whatever. She's not really an influential celebrity. So for the Zennials, millennials, she's not influential in that way for us. Her target group is not Gen Zs. So who's she influencing? Who's looking and going, oh, I want to be like her? On the passport front. Now, you do have some women who do say the Sierra prayer to get a Russell Wilson. Not sure how that's working out for them, but I digress. The other thing is, you have other celebrities who have dual citizenship. So, for instance, Stevie Wonder. That did not draw foundational Black Americans. Nobody was like, oh, look, Stevie Wonder got dual Ghanaian and U.S. citizenship. I want Ghanaian citizenship like Stevie Wonder. Nobody said that. None of the boomers, none of the Gen Xers. Again, who is Stevie Wonder's target audience? Who was interested? Spike Lee, another person that's being used. Again, what is his influence on the foundational Black American community? They don't have anybody. The Africans gave Beyonce their ass to kiss. So guess what? You can't use her as a person to say, hey, look, Beyonce got citizenship in Africa. What about y'all? Ludacris, another rapper. Who's checking for Ludacris in the street? We haven't checked for him since Rollout or whatever the hell other song he did. It doesn't matter. The point is, none of these people are influential enough in our communities that their dual citizenship makes us go, ooh, I want that too. The other thing that I wanted to say is I think that this is a good topic for us to discuss right now and kind of put a pin drop in, because with some of these groups and people that are pivoting from Pan-Africanism, can some of these people be used to try to change our delineation movement from the grassroots movement that it is today to something else? No different than with Pan-Africanism. Like I said, what I saw Pan-Africanism as under Dr. Clark is not the same Pan-Africanism that I'm seeing today. A lot of these people are not coming with good scholarship. They're coming with a lot of browbeating and a lot of trying to force people to be away. Not a whole lot of scholarship in trying to teach people. So the other thing is, do we need to keep our eyes open? And that's a yes. We need to keep our eyes open to the fact that some of these people that are pivoting from Pan-Africanism could possibly be being used eventually in the future to try to switch this from a grassroots FBA lineage-based conversation to, oh, it's a group or this or that. We've already debunked ADOS. But do I think that people could possibly try in numbers to try to do the same thing with FBA? Of course, because they're already trying it now. But those influential big Pan-African names and accounts, yeah, definitely just watch out for the pivot and if they're trying to infiltrate.
Yeah, good point, Kush. What are your thoughts, Dr. Ward?
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, you brought up Sierra. Well, the word on the street about Sierra is she has a serious flatulence problem. That's the story I heard. So,
How did you hear all that?
Oh, I heard that when I was undergrad. Like,
all right.
I heard it was the bladder that she had a problem. Rumor has it.
Yeah, it's a rumor. So, but it's funny, so that's why I brought it up.
What is she, peeing or gassy? Which one is it, guys?
She could be doing both.
Oh my
goodness. For all I know.
Oh my.
This is not good news. That's not even going to work overseas, because going to the bathroom more
is a problem in West Africa.
You can only go to the bathroom once a day because you just don't want to go. Okay? You're going to go behind a tree, trust me.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, that's just a story I heard that, like if she eats some red beans and rice, she better clear out. But,
stay close to the hotels, people. Do not go to rural areas.
If she eats some jollof, it's over with.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
But the foo-foo balls need help. Don't they bind you up?
Oh.
They look like Play-Doh. I mean, they don't look like they move through the system very well.
Y'all gonna fuck around and make me post some foo-foo balls.
Oh, no.
It's gonna take me forever to find them.
Yeah. I never found Sierra that talented of a musician. She just whispers her songs. That's not talent to me. But with that said, y'all talked about Umar Johnson and his school. Look, I don't know what the hell that dude's problem is. My sister's a good teacher. She works for the, y'all may know him, the KIP program.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a hard program to work for, buddy. I work for them. They give you a cell phone. They treat you like a resident physician. They give you a cell phone, and they keep up with you. They'll call you in the middle of the night, like, "Hey, have you turned this in?" But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so my sister does work for them, and they wanted to give her a school to run, but so if Umar Johnson wanted to get his schools, I mean, there are ways to do it. Like, I can't be an educator because I just, like I say, you got a lot of these kids coming from families that have no home training. You disrespect me like we on the streets. Well, I'm going to treat you like we on the streets. So I can't teach that. But with that said, you talk about like these pan-Africanists, like why they are, trying to cop pleas now. It's because, is Professor, you had mentioned that, well, it may be a organized opposition.
Yep.
I think there's a kernel of truth to that. Just given what we know about, people like, what's his name? Karinga.
Oh,
people like that.
Milana Karinga.
So there may be something to that.
Black students, we need to know our history.
The black history we're being taught in public schools is repetitive.
As a black high school student, I want to learn more about my history in the school books.
We need to update our books.
As Black American students, we deserve an accurate depiction of what history truly is.
I want to see myself in these textbooks.
In the public school system, Black history is vague.
Why don't the school books ever talk about the Freedmen's Bureau?
I created the workbook for the African American family. This book helps fill in the gaps that the school books don't. Purchase the workbook for the African American family on ourstorypublications.com and use the Cash App, $, Our Story Publications.